So coming to you somewhere from Denver, an adventure into the existential where we have what we call a thought baby together. This is Crosby with My Wife Hates This.
Well, happy Friday, everybody. Hammer, what's your deal, man? Oh, yeah. Well, by the way, we cannot wait. This first shout out for today is going to go to Lamar. We're excited to have you be our producer. Yeah, this is going to be good stuff. So, Friday. What is today? The 10th, January 10th.
The year of our Lord, 2020.
Yep, amen. Speaking of the year of our Lord, yeah.
Yes. I didn't bring a computer today.
Oh, you're fine.
Here.
We get to
Ooh,
share.
God, I sound good again. I love the way I sound.
Yeah.
I wish somebody else did.
Hashtag levels.
Absolutely. Well, we're back at it for another one.
Yeah. Happy Friday.
It's kind of cold outside today.
Whoa, like legit cold, like
Yes.
25 degrees cold.
Yeah, it is. And I don't, when I get up in the morning, I have to scrape the window. It'd make me want to live in California until I realize how awful California really is.
Let's talk about how crappy California is.
It's awful. I mean,
Dude.
First off, taxes.
Okay, there's taxes on top of taxes for taxes' sake.
They are. They tax your ability to tax just because it's taxing.
Yeah.
I like that one. It made me laughing.
I got into a little bit of Facebook tiff with some of my friends.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I just reposted something just straight up from, I don't know, CNN, ABC, whatever, one of the ones. And it just like, Gavin Newsom asked for $750 million for
what?
housing for the homeless. And which on its face.
I'll pretend I'm homeless to get that kind of money.
No, on its face.
I could use it.
It sounds like a freaking great idea.
It does.
But having the government run such a program is like having termites be your wood supplier.
Right. It's just, there's going to be holes in it.
Those wonderful government
Put it in
efficiencies.
perspective, hasn't the U.S. Postal Service had an entire monopoly on first-class mail for over 200 years and has yet to turn a profit?
Yeah. A monopoly
saying.
that hasn't turned a profit.
In 200 years plus. How long? Like 250 now or whatever it is. It's like one of the things that the Founding Fathers was like, let's make a mail service. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Well,
Right.
I mean, honestly, we needed a mail service.
It won't get out of control.
Well, but we certainly couldn't have a private company do it because they're not trustworthy.
No. No, because UPS hasn't pulled that off. FedEx hasn't pulled that off.
Yeah, right.
DHL, they're a thing.
And what about Yellow Express?
Forget
Local.
about Yellow Express.
What up, Yellow Express?
Good company. If you haven't used them, do it.
No, for reals though. Like if you want to move and you live in a studio, like
Yeah.
somebody nice will show up, help you move, and get you to your place. Like
Right.
it's that simple. You know?
Instead of having to do it myself like I did for all those years.
All the single
Every
ladies,
single time.
all the single ladies. Yeah, for legit. They're really cool people too.
So we walked in the office today, and the first thing we started talking about was the occult in the music industry.
Music, well, because this is a conversation starter. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys can see this whole
Yeah,
thing.
show them
but
the shirt. Show them the shirt.
forget calm, listen to Slayer.
And if you guys haven't seen our new studio behind us,
Isn't this
is
amazing?
Fantastic. It goes on forever.
Forever. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I
It
like
is.
our
I
new
like
studio.
It. You know, they've really dropped a bunch of money on this, and we built this thing behind us. You know,
I mean, I just kind of want to hang out there. I feel
just
very
kind of
peaceful.
ignore the rest of the green screen noise that's going on and everything else.
Yeah,
But,
right.
You know, it's all good. Hopefully, I didn't wear enough green to disappear.
Yeah, okay, I'm good.
But you know, it has kind of bugged me how there's always been this weird sort of occult feeling that's been in the music industry.
Always.
You know, it's not anything new. It's always been there.
It's always been there.
They've always had these weird symbols, and look at all the album covers. There's always the weird dualistic feeling, the thelema symbol,
The unfinished pentagrams.
everywhere, and it just
Or
back in
sometimes
church,
fully
Grandpa
finished
used to
pentagrams,
say-
upside down crosses.
Yeah, and they don't even bother hiding anymore. It used to be like this thing they were trying to hide.
Yeah, because
and just-
Tipper Gore was going to come and
Right.
get them.
And they did a decent job of trying to make it go away. But nowadays, they just don't care. I mean, have you seen Billie Eilish's All Good Girls Go to Hell
Oh, my God.
video?
It's like frightening.
That thing is so gross. I mean, she's like dripping black oil, bleeding. Things are burning around her.
And she's drinking the black thing, and then and then it comes out her eyes. And, no, but here's the flip side, and she's got those like those black eyes things.
Yeah.
So here's my take on Billy, and of course we love you, Billy, and we know that you're probably a really nice girl, totally under the influence of Satan. But with her, I think she's like my perfect sample. That I believe that every several years, maybe 5 to 10 years, there comes a new artist who is
Well, that was me.
unnaturally imbued with
talent.
And I'm saying unnaturally. Now, of course, she's going to say, well, I've been playing music since I was 4.
Sign on the dotted line.
Sign on the dotted line. Your parents did it for you. No, no. I think we go too far, but sometimes I think that there's talent, and then there's, that seems 20,000 years old.
Yeah, and some would say it's an unnatural path.
An unnatural
to talent. So, even Michael Jackson, before his complete meltdown, kept saying that, like, Sony was the devil, they had taken his soul and all that stuff. And,
I'm probably
the music industry does suck the soul right out of you, don't get me wrong. But
okay, so I saw, and I encourage you guys to find it if it's out there. It's called Modern Day Sorcerers in Rock and Roll. It's eye-opening, curious. If you're even remotely curious, go check it out. Find it somewhere because
absolutely.
It is one of the most eye-opening things. So, like, for example, what will you find in that, Cross?
Yeah, okay, so what will you find in that,
so
Cross?
this guy's like a preacher now, but used to be super into transcendental meditation.
Yeah.
Like really into the whole, music as a gateway, blah 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 blah. And his story in and of itself is cool, but he would do stuff like break down things, like an interview with Sting, Gordon Sumner.
Didn't even know he had a real name.
Yeah, Gordon Sumner.
We just knew him as Sting.
No shit. I'd call myself Sting too.
Right? Yeah. Like that. Hey, Gordo, how you doing? Yeah, no, it's better in that direction.
So he does this interview with with Sting and. Or not him, not the guy, but
yeah.
So some guy comes to Sting and he's like, "So Sting, you have written the most profound love song of our modern day in Every Breath You Take." I mean, wildly popular,
very
tripled,
used in
quadruple
all
platinum,
kinds of movies, everything.
Yeah, and he goes, and Sting's like, "Love song? What are you talking about?" And the guy's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "It's a song about a guy who, every breath that she takes, he's all, that's not a love song. That song's poison." He's all, "It's literally about the devil watching you." So now go back, read the lyrics, listen to the song, and hear it as if it were the devil seeking your soul.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
I'm just saying.
Right?
And then there's Led Zeppelin. Let's go with Led Zeppelin.
They have a history of
we got
of an old Aleister Crowley there.
Yeah. So Jimmy Page,
Little AC,
the guitarist for Led Zeppelin, has the first largest, I believe, living collection of Aleister Crowley memorabilia / castles / trains.
You name it. He bought everything that pretty much had his name on it. I think he even he practiced in a studio that was in a house that Crowley owned.
And he also, while writing, performs the knife ceremonies, the satanic knife ceremonies in the dungeon of Aleister Crowley's castle. I mean, so this guy's really seeking it out, and you guys are going, "Yeah, whatever. It's not the devil." I encourage you to see live in Los Angeles. I think it's 1981.
Yeah.
And he literally performs a conjuring of Satan into his presence live on stage. The crowd goes nuts. And then Robert Plant mockingly closes the end of what is arguably one of the most ruckus songs I've ever seen performed live, and just goes, "Thanks, LA, you guys are funny," and walks off stage.
Wow.
Like nobody knew like what they were actually witnessing.
Yes.
Or why they were so frenzied. And I've
That's kind of crazy.
And I've heard other stories about taking masters, like the master tapes of a particular band, and taking them into a quote unquote inner circle place for a blessing by the Morning Star kind of thing.
There were some claims that certain companies, won't mention their names so we don't get sued, you actually have to take them inside of a pyramid, the master record, and have it blessed.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It's kind of like, that's some weird stuff.
Yeah, that's, that sounds music-y.
Right. There is did you know there's a wonderful website that I frequent that deals
listening.
with this?
Go
It's called
on.
The Vigilant Citizen. And
Ooh.
Have you ever heard?
No, never heard
You
of
guys
it.
should check it out. I go to it, even though I shouldn't be sending you to a bunch of websites. And if they end up listening to this, you guys do incredible work over there.
Cheers.
But they cover all of this crazy occult stuff inside the industry, whether it be TV, television. And the one thing that they do every year is a review of the VMAs. And the VMAs are a artwork
Symbolism.
of the strange occult things. Because this year, I mean, a while back it was Madonna and the way she was dominating things. This year, Billie Eilish was there, and it was literal hell on earth. There was fire, there was hell burning, there was all kinds of crazy
Seriously,
stuff.
I didn't watch it.
Oh yeah, no one does. No one watches the VMAs anymore because they've lost a lot of viewership because nobody wants to watch the son of Satan flying through the air as things burn. So, yeah, check them out. They're a really good whoever does their work there. I'm an anthropologist by trade, and whoever does their research it's
Psychologist,
It's solid,
yeah.
solid, and it's
love
eye-opening.
I love a good quality CSI,
Yeah.
like a nice investigation,
Absolutely.
a dissection of what's going on.
Yeah. Covers, album covers, all that crazy jive. It's out there. I think it's real. They used to hide themselves, and everyone would say, the
Not
devil's
today.
in the music industry, and they deny it, and no. And suddenly now they're just like, listen, when Lucifer fell from heaven, what did he take with him?
A third of the stars?
Poetry and music.
Well, he was the leader of the band.
Yes, essentially.
He was literally
Yeah.
like the leader of worship in heaven. Like
Morning Star?
the Bible itself says that he had music in his presence, just like walking into a room and it,
Right.
yeah,
Creepy.
Creep
This isn't
Steiner.
a Halloween
Yeah.
sort of episode. But
And what's funny is like I just got fired up this morning. I'll tell you what. You don't really need that third cup of coffee when you fire up some old school Slayer on your way in. And by the way, everybody who's saying that Slayer's the devil, and here we are talking trash on the music industry that it's filled with Satan. And arguably, I think Kerry King is probably pretty real, legit evil.
Maybe.
the guitarist for Slayer. But I think honestly, like we're talking about the song "Angel of Death."
Yes,
Which is about Himmler, and people originally had said that it was pretty anti-Semitic because it was highlighting Himmler, but the reality of the situation was that they're talking trash on Himmler
as they should,
as a human piece of shit. And what's funny is that Tony Araya in the lyrics actually gives a shout out to his kids and calls them duty heads. You got to love a metal band that's still making shout outs to their kids and talking trash on the Nazis, calling them duty heads because he wanted to make sure that his kids knew that
the song wasn't serious.
That song wasn't pro, but against. Yeah. And also wanted to give that shout out in the middle of what other could be perceived as a very ruckus, evil song, I guess.
Well, that took an interesting turn right off the bat for it. The other creepy thing going on, and we're in Colorado, and if no one has heard, there are drones, unidentified drones flying all over the state. It started in the northeast corner and has crept all the way down into a town called Castle Rock, which is just below
It's
Denver.
down in Castle Rock now?
Yeah, they've had sightings in a town called Parker, Castle Rock. They've had them in Denver. They've had them in all of the northeast section. Corey Gardner, one of our state senators, says he's, quote, looking into it.
Which is
People
bullshit.
are nervous
Come on,
about it.
Corey.
I mean, I thought it was just originally a bunch of drones going up trying to maybe catch some, like DEA forces trying to figure out if somebody's growing weed and selling it across the borders, which makes a lot of sense.
Who's growing weed outdoors in the winter?
Right. But the kicker is they're only happening at night.
They're only happening at night. And here's what's also additionally
Information.
Here's the other thing that's extra creepy, is that such a drone operation would have to get FAA approval. Would need to have FAA licensed operators.
You can't fly at night.
You
That's
can't fly at
illegal
night
if you are a non-government agency.
Now, and nobody is coming forward.
Nobody. Not a word, not a peep, not a thing.
Not a whisper, not a hint, it might be these guys. Yeah, and then plus they're extremely large.
Yes, we're not talking about your little itty bitty drones that fit on tables that you use for cameras. We're talking like 6 feet in diameter sort of thing.
Yeah, like they sound like 3/4 scale Cessnas kind of. Yeah.
And there's several of them. So what are they doing? Are they looking for something? Are they just flying around? Are they testing something? Are they seeing if some sort of artificial intelligence works?
Are they mapping? Did they find some new technology where they're looking for gold or deposits or something? Maybe they're looking for that artist $1 million box.
No, I've and you guys will know this soon. There will be a wonderful paranormal show coming out from OCN here very soon.
Can't wait.
I can't wait either, because you'll see even more of me. Because that's actually mine. But anyway.
I'm super into this stuff, by the way.
Yes, we all are. That's why there's going to be a wonderful show for that coming up. We don't have a title for it yet, but when it does, we'll drop it on you.
Yeah, you'll get updated.
There's a couple of
by the way, like and subscribe.
Yes, ring that bell.
Please.
We need all of the sponsorship we can.
No, fuck sponsorship, man.
No, we need it. It is.
It's a real thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'd like to retract my previous statement.
We love you all. We'll take oil companies. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Come on down.
Right.
Let's get your ducks dirty.
Right. So, in the conspiracy circle, some people have been talking that, and these are some really deep circles that I'm going to go into.
Okay, I'm down. I love this.
There are government agencies who are at least the deep state. Is looking to remove the Second Amendment from,
of course,
the American government, and that these groups are flying these drones over areas that they suspect there would be caches of weapons. So they actually have these huge metal remote sensing technology to see if there's caches of weapons throughout Colorado. That's one of them.
This is your conspiracy theory number
Not
one.
Mine. So
this is
what's going around in the circles. Another one is that it is a terrorist organization that is, because recently in Saudi Arabia, they had their oil pipelines attacked by large drones. And
they're called Predator drones, and they have Hellfire missiles.
No, these were, they think Hezbollah-based drones that were built with that specific purpose in mind.
So this particular theory thinks that terrorists are operating with impunity here in Colorado.
Well, it comes down to how do you protect yourself against a drone attack? And right now, I'm not aware of anything that does. So
EMP.
Maybe if it's an EMP hardened weapon, the answer is no, that won't work. Which some of these, there's technology that exists. But anyway,
And
the idea
loopholes.
that it could be a terrorist organization that is simply testing out the vulnerabilities of the United States within it, right?
I don't buy that one, but go on.
Another one would be that if it is the federal government, they are, and this one is mine, if you had to learn how to defend yourself against a drone attack, you would have to start putting drones up in the air to see how you would deal with it. Because that is a very real possibility.
That makes scary sense to me.
Right, because I'm a government agency, and I know that I'm going to be attacked by a drone. So how do I deal with it?
That frightens me.
So what if I create a bunch of AI-created drones?
Yeah, because they do appear to be autonomous.
And intercept other drones. And you simply either have a missile that's attached to them, or they themselves are designed to just crash and burn into each other, or take each other out through an EMP-based weapon, or stuff like that. So that's my personal thing, is that
scares me.
They are testing our own vulnerabilities within our system, because we have to figure out how to deal with it now. And since our president is very much into defense spending and protecting the United States.
Congratulations on your birth date, Space Force.
Woo-hoo!
Space Force, it's official.
That's right. So if you're going to defend yourself against something, you got to learn you have to tend to attack yourself with it. So they're testing. I think they are testing themselves.
I think that's literally the most reasonable of all of them.
The other is that there's nuclear silos that do exist in northeastern Colorado, where most of the sightings
happen. And
happen.
I've been by them.
Right.
Can I tell you about the time that I saw them?
In just a moment.
Yeah, okay.
Because some of these drones, what if it is also another defensive mechanism by us to have... It's really hard to detect nuclear material from space.
Yeah, right.
But you have to be within a certain radius of it.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're doing.
So why not send these drones over
Sniffing
and
out dirty
methodically
bombs?
just start looking
Just
for
grid the
nuclear
whole
material?
thing.
Yeah.
Just grid the whole thing.
Find out what's
Looking
going on.
looking for radioactivity.
I think this is all a defense-based thing. I think if
It's
we
like-
are close, we're going to get a phone call from somebody here very shortly to say, who have you been talking
Hey,
to?
yeah,
What's
who
going
have you
on?
been talking to? And it's called intelligence.
Right, and that's my assessment of the thing is that you got to find out how to protect yourself against something. You test it against yourself.
I think that makes a whole bunch of sense. So
And these aren't the kind of things that you can take a shotgun to pull them down. You're going to need some serious effort to get these things down. So, and we're talking about some serious, several thousand feet. They can be up in the paths of planes. You know, if you're a terrorist group, it's easy just to take a drone, put it right in the path of an airliner.
done.
Just aim for the cockpit or one of the engine intakes.
One of the engines.
Because birds
Just let it make contact.
Birds are known to take down
Yeah,
aircraft.
birds.
Imagine a 6 foot by 6 foot drone. I mean, there's some serious concerns we have as citizens here as to what's going on. If nobody's saying anything,
dude.
it's generally
Why do you got to go there?
it's generally the government. Because if it was a terrorist organization, they A, would have already used it, and B, they like to brag about it.
I'm not going to be able to get this out of my head all day.
And the other thing is what if it's cartels? What if you set up a
Dude,
series?
if it were cartels, we would have smoked them.
Well, what if the cartels
Under
have gotten
Obama, I
smart
might have
enough?
thought that was a possibility.
What? Because we're close to the southern border. You just got to get through Texas and Colorado, right? And the range on these things is not great. But if you had a network of drones that could take large chunks of drugs and just keep moving them 60 miles, then bringing the next drone to pick up the next, and you just simply start bringing them in via drones, and you've got a network of these, who's going to catch you? We have no way to defend ourselves against a drone. Wow. Nothing like that exists. If it does, they're keeping it very,
And they
very
could
hush-hush.
easily fly under radar.
That is the purpose, because nobody's picking these up on radar. That's the kicker, because they're purposely keeping them below radar. And they're either doing that to evade the radar or to test a system that either can scan within those areas or to see if they can hide them. Because if I'm testing against myself, I have to say, what are my greatest vulnerabilities? One, radar can't see below, 4,000 feet or something like that? I'm not a radar expert.
Might even be 2,000.
If you guys are, send a message in YouTube, let us know. But think about that. It's a huge vulnerability. So the other thing is that you can scan for stealth aircraft. The Russians figured out that cell towers and most stealth aircraft are not stealthy from the bottom.
From the bottom.
So what if you were to have a series of drones that go up and just start scanning up to see? Because if our enemies attacked us with stealth aircraft, how would we know? We wouldn't. But what if we had a series of radar, like a network of radar drones that could search an area to find where these aircraft are at, and then it's not a problem to sit there and start sending up missiles to intercept those aircraft. That is what my show will be covering when the paranormal stuff comes out. I will be covering all this crazy stuff, but my wife hates this is just about all the other bullshit in life that we like to talk about.
What is this my show?
It's my show.
You're just going to do a paranormal show by yourself.
Yep, absolutely.
That's bullshit, man.
No, it's all me.
Dude, that's bullshit.
Producer!
Dude, I call bullshit.
No.
No,
It's already been...
the fact that you are not going to take me along on this, I mean, I think I might be done here.
Well, that's it. Well, it's been a wonderful
Well,
show,
it's been
ladies and
good.
gentlemen.
Yeah,
We enjoy
it's a wrap.
But yeah, it'll cover things like that. That's just a bit of a taste of what... But
Those are legit. That's legit stuff.
it's scary
right there.
stuff because once you understand...
And my wife does hate this because I have to
Yeah.
backtrack on everything.
And actually, I sat down and discussed this with my wife because she had a few ideas, which are kind of legitimate, and she just, she just thought it was DEA stuff too. Like, we're looking for drugs.
I don't think so.
I think it's a total test of our ability to protect ourselves, which I'd rather us be testing it against us than somebody else. And if it is, if it is somebody else, then we need, because Colorado, if you do not know, has NORAD. How many Air Force bases,
Crystal
military,
Palace.
Army bases, nuclear silos in the Northeast, DIA itself, that is a whole different thing.
There's some next level
there's some
conspiracy
shit going
theories.
on there that
It's all about that one
ultimately
mural.
creepy.
That one mural.
Yeah, it's just not one mural. It's the whole freaking airport.
Well, the whole airport is one thing, and the airport society secret whatever thing,
Yeah.
that's creepy.
Right.
But that mural is next level alarming.
Do you know they've excavated more dirt than the entire island of Manhattan for that airport?
Manhattan's pretty small. I don't know.
That's a lot of cubic yards of straight up dirt.
You mean,
Where did it all go?
Do you mean all that those cubic yards of dirt?
Right.
What else?
I think the kicker
beneath?
is
that what you're saying?
the kicker is when did they stop digging?
Well, I still see them doing a whole bunch of work.
There's all kinds of excavators out there all the time.
Yeah.
So what are they up to?
Yeah.
Scary stuff. But no, I just wanted to throw that at everyone. We have drones in the area, and they are freaking people out. I really, truly thought I saw one in Castle Rock. It's an area that I frequent, and it just hovered in the air and hung out there. I actually reported some of these to the Mutual UFO Network,
Oh, cool.
MUFON, and
I like MUFON.
apparently they were very interested. They've been recontacting me about what I saw, and yeah, that one's a trip. So stay tuned for more of this kind of stuff. As life goes on.
Well,
Yeah.
you're bringing me along with you. I don't care.
I mean, it's solo, bro.
No, there's
Yeah.
no solo.
It's
There's no solo.
There will be guests, but I know.
Bullshit.
That's what people say.
This is like the
Oh,
Rogan Red Band breakup.
that's right. It's like when the Beatles, who weren't in the occult either. Plus, I don't think Paul McCartney is the same Paul McCartney that was from 1960 or
Hey,
whatever.
All you guys got to do is realize that the third guy over from the left is Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, on the
in Sgt. Pepper's
band.
Lonely Hearts Club
Going
Band.
back
Yeah.
to that weird occult stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, that's real.
Soundgarden.
That's prevalent.
Right.
That's the world we actually live in.
Yeah, and there are people who, like these groups, actively want to make sure that gets promoted.
Oh, and people are worried about their fucking pronouns.
Right? They just laugh.
There's literally bigger shit, bro.
Right? There's stuff going on around you that you might want to pay a
You
little more
might want to
attention
get
to.
like a little bit off of the whole
Yeah.
me first and the gimmies.
So,
Anyway, I was driving out to Nebraska and I
Yeah.
saw these two Black Hawk helicopters do super fast, super low, come flying over me.
that's really scary.
No, but they were going somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, that was cool. Like,
Welcome to Colorado,
I'm like, no, it was actually Nebraska.
Nebraska.
And then I come upon them about maybe 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
And they're doing the most perfectly intricate nose dance. Like if helicopters mated, this is what a helicopter mating
Mate
dance would look like. And they're just dancing nose to nose around this one point. And I'm like, okay, those are Black Hawk helicopters. And then there's like three black, Hummers. And an all black dude, a dude in all black tactical gear, and he's standing at the fence. Now, this looks like what you would imagine, I don't know, two shipping containers side by side.
Yeah.
That's a whole bunch of going on for two shipping containers side by side. And I slowed down to kind of just take a look.
Yeah.
And the dude in all the gear, he just goes,
Right.
and I went, and he went,
Right. He knows, dude. I'm going to give you the warning.
yeah, don't slow down, bro.
Right.
Don't slow down.
So I made a mistake when I was very young. Are you familiar with the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs?
Yes.
All right. So I was driving in some roads behind Broadmoor, and they lead right up to Cheyenne Mountain, if you did not know.
Okay.
And apparently one road I got in, the federal government did not like that I was there, because when I came around this corner, there were two Humvees with mounted weapons on top of them, and a guy waving at me to come and walk over. And there's a car full of us, and we were obviously up there to, I must admit, partake in some herbal refreshment, because we were just trying to find a place
Who
to
doesn't
hang
like
out.
to be refreshed?
Right. And, the group of us, we see the guns, we're like, we are going to die! Right? And he waves over, and he starts waving me forward, so we pull up in my little car, and he looks at me and he goes, "You kids lost?"
Yes, sir.
And the first words out of my mouth were, "Yes." And he goes, "Tell you what, I want you to turn around, and I want you to follow." He had one of the Humvees pull forward. "I want you to follow this Humvee, and we're going to escort you out." And then this is like the mid 90s, right? So it's not. This is pre 9/11. So
Pre 9/11.
Pre 9/11. And he goes, "We're just going to escort you out of here." And we start driving down this road, and then one of my buddy looks to the right, and there's another road we didn't notice because there's another Humvee that's on our right side. We look to the left, there's this other trail where there's other Humvees following us, and then one leading us, and there's one behind us. So they did not want us there. And we end up coming out right next to this beautiful mansion at the Broadmoor. just this road that's innocuous. And he leads us out, they wave us out, and they disappeared. And that's when I was thinking to myself, how much of the Broadmoor is actually rich people living in houses, and how much of it is the U.S. military? Have these houses been hardened? Do they go underground? How much of this is a network of NORAD that's over there? And that was one of the creepiest escort things I had ever, because I thought, this is how I'm going to die. And he was really polite. He's just like, I think you kids are lost. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we are.
Yes, we're absolutely lost.
And there were people with weapons. I mean, they were not.
We're not curious. No, sir.
No.
Not at all.
We were just looking for a place to honestly go smoke some weed, sit down,
do
what kids were doing. And he's like,
what kids do.
And they probably knew we were on the way up because they were already waiting for us. They knew. So we took a left on one of these roads that we were not supposed to take a left on. Because I was young, I was stupid. I was just like, let's go down this one.
Well,
like 16 or 17. You know
who cares?
What I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like,
I'm in the middle. I'm in Colorado,
right?
In America. Like,
right?
What's the worst that could happen?
Well, you find out that you're on your way to NORAD. Everyone's like, listen, son, you need to go.
Yeah, you don't have that super secret satellite sensitive pass that we were looking for.
So all of you who were ever curious if there's weird stuff in Colorado, the answer is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's absolutely everywhere.
Speaking of weird stuff in Colorado, have you been up and seen the site of the Shining thing?
Side of the Shining thing?
That
motel?
Yeah,
where the Shining,
it's a hotel. What's it called?
God, I don't remember.
The Stanley.
I've driven past the Stanley.
Hotel.
I've never stayed at the Stanley.
I've never stayed there, but I did the tour.
Did you?
I did the tour.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of storytelling.
That's fantastic.
I liked some of the action. There were some people that are like, no, I've legit had people seen, heard things.
Right.
I don't know. I legit hear things, and there's nothing there.
Right. Anyway, I can't get too deep into it because I got to save some of that stuff. But there's some ghost things that
I don't know if you can tell. I'm already pissed at.
Yeah, I know.
Hammer for even.
Well, I had to come up with another show around here, and that was always my dream, to be like Art Bell. He's the whole reason I got into.
Art Bell's amazing.
Oh, he passed too. He was my favorite. George Norrie took it over. Not a fan.
Well,
he's just too busy trying to sell books. There, I said it, George. I said it.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
That's fair. That being said, also, who else? Phil Hendry.
Phil Hendry. That sounds so familiar.
Okay.
Yes.
So the first time I ever heard Phil Hendry, I was driving out to Las Vegas, and it gets to that point where they're like one station comes in. So I'm listening to this station. And he's like, all right, so we're going with Dr. Tracy Brown. Dr. Brown, go ahead and tell us about your controversial theory. Yes, hi, thanks, Phil. Yes, I just wanted to let people know, I think there's a real stigma around bulimia right now. And I just wanted to let you girls know that if you're having a lobster, if you're having a filet mignon with some nice asparagus, and you want to vomit that up, that is totally healthy. It's all about what you're throwing up. That's absolutely, totally unscientific. We can't believe that you're actually a doctor. Let's go to the phones.
Yeah, and then the callers come in, and he's the same person. It's all the same
He's
people.
all of the people.
Right. And people don't realize that it's such an act, and people lose their minds.
People
the one I
lose their
to,
minds.
He's like, I just can't say the word gobbler's knob. And people were angry about it.
Yeah.
It's just a word. No, we got to ban it in the U.S.
Yes, Phil. I'm 16 years old and I love my Escalade. Well, I believe it's an Escalade. No, sir, it's an Escalade. And when your dad makes as much money as I do, you can call him whatever the fuck you want. Yeah.
Let's go to the phones.
Let's destroy this guy.
You entitled son of a... Yeah, good show.
Such a good show. Shout out, Phil.
Right. Too bad radio's dying. It's all podcasts. I don't know if you guys know.
I don't know if you guys noticed.
The whole field is changing.
Yeah. It's all over.
Right.
Baby blue.
Oh my God. Well, we didn't even get to fake news today.
Well, I mean, I think the real news is fun enough.
Right. The drones were enough to make people freak.
Well, yeah, that's real news. Also in real news today, I heard this yesterday.
Yeah.
A lady came into a bank, and I believe it was in the Springs.
Really?
And she said that she was an FBI agent, and she would like to review their security footage.
Oh, this sounds legitimate.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And no warrant, apparently
Nothing. Just
insufficient
watching.
identification, blah 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 blah. So rightfully, the teller then went on to call the cops.
Fantastic.
Cops
You should always verify
yeah.
that it's law enforcement.
Verify. And it turns out no, she was the CIA. Well,
What?
I don't know if you guys know about how the CIA is supposed to work, but the the FBI is allowed to investigate internally, domestically. The CIA is allowed no such liberty. Interesting.
Why would she be in a Springs bank trying to look at records?
Drone footage?
What do they know?
I think we might be getting onto something here.
We do. We might get shot for this. Fantastic. We're onto something.
Oh, good. At least we died for something cool.
All right. I know. I don't want. I don't want to die like in a drunk binge drinking session, like
Why not?
most of the music artists do. Which, have you ever heard of the 25 Club?
Yeah. It's not 25 though, isn't it? 27?
Was that?
28?
I don't know.
28?
There's 20. It's just a 20-something club where all the great stuff.
Hendrix,
Yeah.
Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in my opinion,
Yeah.
I mean Hendrix, yes. Morrison wasn't that great in my opinion.
I don't think Morrison actually died. I think he faked his death.
I think he died.
I think he faked his death and lived in Wyoming on a farm.
I think he's dead.
No, he's still
Janis
dead
Joplin, definitely dead. She was one of the greats. Great voice.
ham sandwich.
Yeah,
Gets you every
but
time.
that was Cass.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was Mama Cass.
Mama
Mama
Cass.
Cass.
Ham sandwich.
Ham
Mama
sandwich.
Cass. And she made it past 28, didn't she?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Just making that up.
And then also, I don't know. To me, the greats are still alive. Dave Mustaine.
Yeah, he's still around,
Yeah, he's the man.
right? Jeffrey Epstein. Nope, he died.
Well, I mean, we had Jerry Garcia.
Yeah.
What about Neil Peart? He's alive. Well, talk about the occult. Jesus.
Right, yeah.
Neil Pope for Rush.
See, I wonder what some of these musical acts have seen. The things
Can you
they've been asked to
imagine?
do. Here's Silas in Blood.
You want to see behind the curtain, kid?
Want to have your soul for a contract. Please enjoy.
That's next level. That's good. That's a good laugh.
Thank you. I
man.
do a lot of Halloween stuff too. If anybody wants some scary voices for the Halloween scare houses, I'm available.
All right, so lock your doors, get
Yeah.
guns, make sure you vote for people
Right.
who support the Second Amendment.
Get lots of food and water. Get ready for it because it's all going to go to hell in a handbasket here soon.
Oh, let's hope so. Zombies, 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 zombies.
Well, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, everything that you see here. If you want more of this content, which you probably do, make sure you let everybody know. Share this with everyone. In fact, we
Please.
will try to hypnotize all of you to listen to more of this and share it with all of your friends. But this has been Josh.
And I'm Crosby.
And my wife hates this. She really does. Bye, gang.
Bye.
Still don't have a producer. I got to stop it on my own.